Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2019. Thank you so much for joining me. Still going through Unbroken Bonds decks before moving on to updating a lot of the older decks such as Picrom, such as Malmar, such as Zoroark, Blacephalon, Zapdos, Ultra Beast. I wanted to take a look at another version of Charizard, a slightly different one. That is a bit more of a toolbox-y kind of version, I would say, since you do have Reshiram Charizard, but you also have Volcanion, you have Turtonator, you have FIRE GX, and you have Salazzle. So I really want to feature this version of the Fire Toolbox deck that I think it's very similar to the Lightning type toolbox deck that I was using throughout the whole team up quarter pretty much. So yeah, let's get started. First off, we have our trusty Reshiram Charizard GX, 270 HP, a humongous amount, and a very good amount in order to counter all the other tag teams that are out there. Hitting for 270 is definitely not an easy number to do so in one hit. And in combination with that, we have the Outreach attack, which deals 30 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So anytime Reshiram Charizard gets attacked, you are actually very easily able to retaliate with the Outreach attack, sometimes even getting KOs that way. Now, next up we have Flare Strike, dealing 230 damage for 4 energies, a very solid amount. Our other version had Kiawe to get to the Flare Strike early on. This version has an increased amount of our energies, and we rely on Lily and Welder for the most part in order to power up our Reshiram Charizards. And then we have the Double Blaze GX attack, 200 damage, but if we have 3 extra fire energies, we will be able to deal 300 damage and ignore any effects on our opponent's active Pokemon. So a very solid card, only at a 2 count because we do have a myriad of other attackers. We have the 1/1 Flareon GX line, 210 HP, its attack Heat Stage deals 30 damage, and we are able to attach up to 3 fire energy cards from our hand to our Pokemon in any way we like, so we are able to power up a Reshiram Charizard GX. This Flareon GX definitely makes it so that going second isn't that big of a deal. And then we have the Bright Flame attack, dealing 190 damage, and we discard 2 fires from this Pokemon, but 190 is a very nice round number to deal with all the non-GXs, or rather all the regular GXs, not the tag teams. But all the regular GXs out there, especially the Choice Band hitting for 220, is a very good number to be hitting. And then for the late game, we do have the Power Burner GX, which deals 20 damage for each fire energy card in our discard pile. And in theory, we could deal up to 300 damage. Well, I guess up to 280 if we had all other 14 fires in our discard pile. Now, we do have our trusty Turtonator with its Explosive Jet attack, which deals 50 damage for each fire energy attached, for each fire energy that we choose to discard from any of our Pokemon. Very similar to Blacephalon GX. But the energy do not go to the Lost Zone, thankfully. And then we have the Double Volcanion, 120 HP. Flare Starter is a really nice attack because if you're going second and it's your first turn, you can search for 3 fire energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Otherwise, you get to attach 1 fire energy, which is not that big of a energy advantage, but every little bit helps, right? And then we have the High Heat Blast, which deals 50 damage, and then if you have at least 4 fire energy in play, this attack does 60 more damage. So at the very least, you're gonna have 2 on the Volcanion, and having 2 elsewhere thanks to Welder shouldn't be a big deal. And 110 is a magical number to deal with Zapdoses. Finally, we have the 2/2 Salazzle line. The ability Roast Reveal does mean that we're gonna be drawing a lot of extra cards every turn, because we may discard a fire energy card from our hand for each Roast Reveal, and then if we do, we draw 3 cards. Very nice, reminiscent of the old Delcatty from Ruby and Sapphire, so 5 generations ago almost. But yeah, pretty solid. Support Pokemon, the Combustion attack, 2 energies for 60 is solid, though we're probably not going to be using it to attack at any point. Finally, we have the Double Jirachi for the Stellar Wish, and to have a free retreat pivot in case we need to reuse Flare Strike. No Lele and no Marshadow, so once again, I am basing this off of Japanese result. This list ended up winning like over 100% league up in Japan, or the equivalent of an 100% league up in Japan. So hopefully it doesn't betray us. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 4 Fiery Flint to help find the energy and the Pokemon that we need at the right time. We also have 3 Fire Crystal and 1 Stretcher for recovery. And then we have the 1 Hit Factory as our only stadium to be able to draw extra cards. Now we have the 4 Lilies, of course, and 4 Welders, so that we draw as many cards as we can every single turn. And then we have triple Guzma, the single Acerola to be able to heal a Charizard at any given point. And then we have double Choice Band and double Skateboard for our tool cards. A very hefty 15 fire energy count. And so let's jump into a ladder for a couple of games and see how we can do with this version of Reshiram Charizard. As you can see, I'm on a very hot streak of 7 games in a row on the ladder. The last few games were won by using Weezing, so we'll see if Reshiram with Flareon or this Reshiram toolbox can actually deal with what our opponents will throw at us. Based on the previous screen, I would assume we're up against either Zapdos or Pikarom based deck, so I would like to go first, of course. And yeah, I guess I'm kind of like a floating head today because I'm wearing a green shirt. I forgot and I just realized that I was looking at OBS. But anyways, decent-ish start, right? Decent-ish start. We are also going first. So with the Nest Ball, I definitely think establishing this Landed is the best course of action here. And I do believe I'm gonna play down the Heat Factory. Because I do want to, Lily for 3 is very weak. I do want to get as many cards as I can, and at the very least an energy attachment for next turn. Now with the Fire Flint, I am guaranteed that, so I will be able to draw extra cards with the Heat Factory. I am able to establish a second cell landed as well. And then I will go ahead and Nest Ball. Probably my Flareon GX is priced, and so is my other Reshiram Charizard, so I actually don't have too many great attackers here. So either the Turtonator or the Jirachi. I'm gonna play it safe and go for the Jirachi just in case I need like a retreat pivot or something for this Guzma. And then I'll go ahead and bench the Volcanion as well. I'll go ahead and attach the energy to my Reshiram, and then if we're up against a Zapdos deck and we get attacked, then I don't even need to Welder to be able to retaliate. So we should be in a good spot here. Definitely solid start. I'm not using the Fire Flint. I don't think it's necessary right now. After I top deck something, then I'll be able to figure out what I want to discard in order to use the Fire Flint. The Rescue Stretcher is super valuable given that we have the Flareon GX and the Reshiram in our prize cards. And we see an Electro Power and a Zeraora being played before a Cynthia. So at the very least, we know we are up against a Lightning type deck. I don't mind the Radiant Forest at all, honestly. We lose the extra draw from the Heat Factory. We have our own Heat Factory in Salazzle, which is really, really cool, right? Really, really cool. And we see a discard of a Lightning for a Lightning. Pretty solid here. We're gonna see an Ultra Ball. Discarding Coco GX and Jirachi. So far, from what I'm looking at, we still don't know if we're up against a Pikarom or a pure Zapdos deck. However, at 2 cards in my opponent's hand, the Jirachi, I'm not fearing too much here. And okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna evolve, and then discarding a Welder doesn't feel great, but neither does the Guzma. So I'm not sure what I want to do here. Do I want to just Fire Flint? Discarding Fire Flint. The Stretcher, I can't discard the Stretcher this game. Then the Guzma will surely help me to get better attacks off against the GXs. Yeah, so it's gonna have to be... I think it's gonna have to be the Guzma. Like, I still have more Guzmas left. I'll get my 4 fires. And yeah, I have the 2 Guzmas left. Those Guzmas will really have to count. I do have those 2 Pokemon, the Reshiram, the Flareon, and then 12, 13, 14, a Fire, and a Skateboard, and then other stuff in the prices. So we'll get our 4 energy for sure. And then I will go ahead and my opponent says we have a good deck. That's very nice of him to say. I will go ahead and roast reveal, and I find the escape board. So here's what I'm thinking. I do have 2 welders. There's a chance my opponent just knocks out my Charizard next turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and welder, but I'm gonna welder onto the Volcanion just to have a nice attacker against future Zapdoses. I even get another Salazzle. I also have a Kuzma to target down potentially next turn if I need to with my GX attack. Do I want to roast reveal? I don't see why not, right? I don't see why not. Definitely not gonna be missing any energy at any point. I'll save the EV for when I actually draw the Flareon. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and outrage here. Pretty solid turn 2, I would say. Pretty solid turn 2. The only thing that would have made this better is if we didn't have Reshiram in the active, right? On that first turn, and it wasn't that took the hit. Then we would have had to, like if Volcanion had taken the hit, we would have been completely fine, actually. So my next turn, depending on what my opponent does, my next turn might honestly be go Guzma, KO Jirachi with the Volcanion. That doesn't seem bad. My opponent goes ahead and uses Viridian Force for a Guzma. There's the Lightning. He will go ahead and attack me with Jolteon, I can imagine. I wonder if he's gonna try and use the GX attack. Thankfully I have this Guzma right here, and then we see the Stellar Wish, so stealing as much as he can. He might not be able to get support through this turn, which means he's gonna be in trouble, but he does find the Lily. That is great for him, and great for the quality of this game. There's the Coco, right? There's the Coco, so right now he's at 110 damage. If he finds 2 damage modifiers, he would be able to KO my Reshiram Charizard with that Jolteon, which would be a bit problematic because then we would have traded 3 prizes for 1 prize, and that's never ever good. We see the Field Blower, which I definitely agree with playing in Lightning decks now because of Choice Helmets, because of so directly Marshadow, no use of any Electro Powers, which is great. So unless my opponent hit 2 right here, then okay. The issue is the Let Loose definitely takes away my reliable Kuzma option, and that's what really sucks here. Alright, that is what really sucks. So at the very least I would hope to find like an Acerola or a Guzma. I'd be happy with either. So should I Nest Ball first? Yeah, I'm gonna Nest Ball. I'm gonna establish the EV, I guess, just to thin. I do have Acerola and I do have the 2 Guzmas. So yeah, discard the Guzma, not the best play for sure. I will go ahead and Roast Reveal to draw 3 cards. And we find Acerola. Okay, I like that. So then I'm gonna go ahead and Roast Reveal. And okay, so no Choice Band, but yes to the Acerola. I'm a happy camper with that. I'll go ahead and pick this guy up. If I had my Flareon, like this will reveal that my Flareon is actually prized. But I mean, we have Welder, right? So we're in a pretty fine spot. And then I'll just go ahead and use Flare Starter. I only have 2 fires left in the deck, so these Fire Crystals can't come any sooner. I do have 5 fires in the discard pile. And the Volcanion does require a damage modifier to be knocked out, which is great. But now, my Reshiram Charizard has already taken 1 prize, right? It has already taken 1 prize. My opponent might try to attack it once again, which I wouldn't mind because now my opponent cannot protect himself from my attacks. He will go with the Zeraora. No, never mind. He attaches to Zeraora. He will go with the Guzman. No more GX attack, which I'm okay with. And then this Charizard will have taken 3 prizes, which means we are still in the driver's seat, I would say. So, do I want to use my GX attack? I mean, there's really nothing better to welder onto And then 110 plus 160 is perfect damage right here. So I don't want to use my GX attack because I need to save that for this Aurora, right? I need either my stretcher or my other Reshiram and Charizard GX from the prizes in order to make sure that I can power up and GX next turn. And I need a welder as well. I need a welder, which I did not get. So I'm gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball away these two because these two don't help me in getting welder. And then I will also go ahead and Ultra Ball away Lily and Ultra Ball. No, Lily and Fire Flint. Fire Flint definitely not useful anymore. There's the two welders. There's Fire Crystals as well. So that's exactly what I need for next turn. I'm not even gonna bother attaching. There's no way my opponent plays two field blowers, right? Well, I guess there is a way. But anyways, all I need to do is Flare Strike here, get this KO. 3 prizes for 3 prizes, right? So we got a good trade-off. Jirachi and Flareon. Flareon also a decent option to deal with the Zeraora, right? Though the key card I'm missing is Welder and Fire Crystal. And I definitely would prefer to take the KO with Reshiram purely because I conserve the energy. And I don't see any way in which my opponent can deal with 2 Reshirams at this point. The Salazzle though, the MVPs of this game have 100% been the Salazzles. The Roast Reveals have just allowed me to get everything I need into my hand in order to recover very nicely. My opponent does grab a Guzma, I assume, to try and use it next turn. I don't foresee any situation in which my opponent doesn't take the kill on the Reshiram unless he doesn't have an energy, which is a really sad situation for my opponent. That does mean he whiffs the knockout, and then my Reshiram taking 4 prizes. That's just way too much for them to deal with. So pretty nice, pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for another match, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. We shall see how this goes. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for the support on the channel. Obviously it's the Unbroken Bonds hype, but also I hope you guys are appreciating the little bit of extra quality with like a very nice intro, a very nice outro as well. I'm working on making little improvements, right, to the videos as much as I can. There's also Spanish content. Spanish content is back on the channel for those of you that enjoy watching both. The deck profiles are in Spanish, and then they're followed up by my own content in English again. And huge shout out to Tyrant Channel for their help with that. And okay, so not a bad start, because even though I am going second, I have the turn 1 Welder, and I have it with Fire Flint, which means I'll be able to just KO whatever is in front of me, which is a Glameow. I definitely don't think... Oh wow, this is a Catcher Day based deck. Probably not a very competitive deck, I would say. It's really gimmicky. So perhaps just using the GX against the Glameow is actually okay. I'm not sure. Okay, I didn't pay attention to what that was. Spell Tag and Nest Ball, that makes sense. Spell Tag is interesting. Catcher Day, I mean, you draw a lot of cards. Why would you Spell Tag the Glameow and then reveals the Mew? Why would you Spell Tag the Glameow? I don't understand. This feels like a very gimmicky deck, honestly. There's a Mr. Mime, so it will block my Zerola, right? Mr. Mime will end up blocking the Zerola that I do have. Shrine of Punishment is actually pretty scary, and I think that will force my hand I think seeing that Shrine of Punishment definitely means that I should just go ahead and try and take a prize every single turn, right? I do find the energy, so I don't even have to Fire Flint, which is nice. I could just Fire Flint next turn, and then, I mean, after this guy I can follow up with non-GX attackers. I'm just gonna double place GX this poor guy. No threat of the spell tag either, and that's the third Lily in my hand, so not the best start, not the worst either, but definitely a bit on the slower side. My backup attacker, 100 damage. I mean, Volcanion is a really good backup attacker, right? It's all a matter of making sure that you can maintain the 100 damage going, or 110 damage rather, going every single turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the Volcanion. My Outrage attack can now KO the Meow, so I don't need to commit another energy there. I do believe using Fire Flint here is correct. Probably just for one fire, because then my follow-up is Lily. There's no point in having so many energies in my hand. So yeah, I'll attach both to the Volk, and I do find another Fire Flint and a Nest Ball. So with this Nest Ball I am going to establish a Salandit, because I also have a Salazzle in my prize card, so that could help me get the deck going a little bit more. And then I'm gonna Outrage, 60 damage, just enough, so in the Shrine is actually helping me, and there's a Salazzle, so what do you know? See, Caturday is like, it's obviously something that Pokemon intended as a cute concept, but it's just it's too gimmicky. Yeah, it's really too gimmicky. It's not gonna be anything too impactful. We see an Escape Rope, that's completely fine by me. I should read this guy. Caturday, draw card. Wait. Ignore all energy in the attack costs. Okay, so you ignore everything. Here, Kinesis, he's gonna do 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon for each damage counter on that Pokemon. Okay, the thing is, I have a Guzma right here, just waiting to snipe that Persian. And the only Pokemon that my opponent can target is the Reshiram Charizard. He will deal 80 damage for free, which is a very nice number, but I have 270, so I'm not too concerned. And then once this Persian goes down, that's essentially gonna be game over, I would say. Might as well use the Reshiram Charizard, honestly. I don't see any reason why not to do so. And then, yeah, let's Roast Reveal. Right, let's Roast Reveal, just find more cards. I do need some energy in play in order to make sure that Volcanion can deal 110 consistently, so the energy on this Salazzle not looking too bad. And then we'll go ahead and Outrage. No more free attacks for my opponent, definitely no more Ear Kinesis for free, right? Even a Skateboard for Jirachi, a Skateboard in case I want to retreat anything. So yeah, I don't see my opponent doing anything at all here. Lieutenant Surge's strategy, so double supporter turn, technically triple supporter turn for my opponent. Goes ahead and attaches a Choice Band, but with no Persian, I don't know what that accomplishes exactly. We will see a Cynthia. There's no way my opponent can get a Persian this specific turn, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure what my opponent can accomplish here. And then it comes down to price trade-offs, right? Like my Reshiram Charizard, it gives 3 prizes, but it took 4. So that's more than enough, right? That is more than you could ever ask for. You even see a Clammeow, no Meowth in sight, no Meowth in sight at all. Just a bunch of Psychic type attackers and Caturday attackers. There's a second supporter for my opponent, technically the third, I guess. After the search, he played Cynthia and then Lily. But I don't see how or what my opponent can do. Once again, Caturday, he can draw 3 cards and go to sleep. But Perplexing Eyes is not going to be used this turn. And he does indeed go for the attack to draw 3 cards. So Nothing too impactful here. I will go ahead and do this, and then maybe leave. I kind of want to Fire Flint for 0 and then Lily. I kind of like doing that. Because I'd rather just attach energy to another Volcanion or something. So I'll go ahead and Lily, looking for Nest Ball or Ultra Ball. Even the Turtonator is an okay companion to the Volcanion. I guess I'll Roast Reveal. I should have Roast Revealed before. I should have made the decision to Roast Reveal before benching and before attaching. There's the Ultra Ball, so the energy could have gone to a Volcanion, but oh well, right? It's not that big a deal. I'll just go ahead and Outrage. That's 4 prizes taken for me. I would expect the Oxys to be able to finally take me down. The Oxys does have 120 HP, which means powering up the Turtonator is now actually looking like a viable strategy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 energies used so far. There should be plenty in the deck for me to Fire Flint into a Welder. The Heat Factory, I believe, was my prize card, so finally we'll be able to get rid of the Shrine. And by finally, I mean when it ends up not mattering at all anymore. And then my next prize will be taken with Turtonator, and then the last one will probably be a Volcanion in case my opponent is somehow able to KO my Turtonator. Not even enough, right? Not even enough to KO me. And I top deck the Kuzma, so this is just really bad for my opponent. I can't go ahead and eliminate the Meowth. I can't go ahead and eliminate the Meowth here. No reason to do anything here, really, I would say. Well, yeah, there's a victory, so no chance for my opponent. Taking 5 prize cards with 1 Reshiram is just way too much. Decent attempt, I guess, for my opponent. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and keep grinding here. One more game, because that one definitely wasn't the most competitive match ever. So hopefully we run into a much tougher opponent for the next game. We'll see. We shall see what happens. I do believe we're up against Malamar, so this will probably be a more competitive match, where Flareon GX and even Volcanion could definitely come into play. We're gonna mulligan this fiery hand. We do mulligan this very fiery based hand. And okay, so we start with this guy yet again. Right, yet again. I'd rather be starting with things like Volcanion or something. But I guess my opponent doesn't really threaten me. Okay, so this is interesting. Should I Heat Factory, discard the energy? Or should I Welder and then see what I do with the Heat Factory? This is tough. I think I'm gonna go with a Heat Factory. Okay, I get the Fire Flint. That's definitely what you would want, although the discard here is gonna be pretty harsh, honestly. Well, the Rescue Stretcher is not bad at all, actually. The Choice Band is definitely not necessary. Okay, so it's definitely gonna be Choice Band, and I think the Rescue Stretcher. Yeah, that seems pretty solid as far as discards go. So 12 energy plus the one in the discard, that's 2 energy prize. The Flareon GX is in there. The Reshiram is in there. So not bad. But okay, so Reshiram, I mean 2 fires are prized, and then 1 Guzma is prized, 1 Welder is prized, 1 Skateboard is prized, and something else that I'm not sure what it is, but it's okay. Okay, and then thanks to the Fire Crystal, I can go ahead and Ultra Ball, establish my Salandit, right? Which is pretty awesome here. Salandit plus Jirachi definitely gets you places, and then we'll go ahead and Welder to the active, obviously. Wow, double nest ball. I'll go ahead and fire crystal to get back all 3 fires very nicely. That way I don't have to use my GX on the Ultra Necrozma. And that's really relevant because if at any point your Reshiram does go down, you do want to be at a stage where I'm gonna save this nest ball for now. Like, you do want to be in a spot where off of 1 welder you can get a retaliate KO. Yeah, that's the goal. And then the idea is gonna be to use Reshiram and then Flareon GX and then 1 Reshiram or something along those lines. Depending on how the game develops, right? But I fully expect my opponent to go out of his way to switch out this Ultra Necrozma, right? To make sure that I don't just get a free 2 prizes to start off the game. That would be pretty devastating. Reshiram is probably not a deck that can afford to consistently or reliably target down Inkes, so taking down the big guys is gonna be really, really important. And there's the Inkay. There is the Inkay. There is a switch, as expected. A Metal Energy as well, and a Cynthia. So very nice, just raw hand for my opponent. Very nice setup. Triple Inkay already. So that is pretty threatening, although only 1 Psychic in the discard is good news, but there's a Viridian Forest, so a Guzma would be awesome, right? A Guzma to take down that guy would be really awesome. Finding my other 2 welders is gonna be super necessary here, and that's 2 Psychics already in the discard pile. But anyways, seeing this setup for my opponent, I definitely think that merits establishing Turtonator potentially as well. See, if I were taking this KO with Volcanion, then it wouldn't be so bad, right? Yeah, I kind of like Turtonator a bit more. No, the plan is Reshiram, Flareon, Reshiram. So let's go for that. And then I am going to evolve into the Flareon. No, if I do that, then yeah, never mind. I will do this, however, and I will definitely discard the Jirachi, thin my deck just a little bit more. 1 Guzma is priced, so our chance of finding Guzma this turn are not very high. I also would need something to retreat, aka an escape board, which, okay, so we do not find either. Definitely gonna go ahead and attach here. And then I'll definitely go ahead and fire Flint, 1 Turtonator and 1 fire. I won't get anything, however, because I do want a Lily for 5, just to find more resources in my hand. Double Salazzle, I think, could be important as well here. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do 460 damage. Definitely a big excess to the Jirachi. So what does my opponent need now? There's the Guzma. So what does my opponent need now? He needs and a Psychic from hand, 3 Malamars, and a switch, right? Well, and a 3rd Psychic in the discard pile. So the chances of that happening are not very high. Or a Choice Band, 2 Malamars, and a Psychic from hand. So either way, it's 4 specific-ish cards. The Malamars especially should not be easy to, or too easy to find. Well, there's 1, and there's 2. There's the Psychic for the Psychic, so the triple Psychic recharge plus the energy from hand, that is fully set up at this point. Can my opponent find 3rd Malamar plus switch, or switch plus Choice Band? I mean, he's committing the Psychic recharges. I mean, I guess Guzma does it too. Ooh, goes for the Lily. Using Psychic recharge before playing the Lily, that feels a bit redundant, not to mention bad. So a skateboard plus Choice Band does it. Malamar plus switch does it. Otherwise, we're definitely going after that guy. Oh my gosh. He finds the switch, but he's 10 damage short. He is 10 damage short. Okay, that means we get the KO with Outrage, right? That does mean we get the KO with Outrage. Using a Acerola doesn't seem like a great choice here. Yeah, using Acerola doesn't seem like a great choice for sure. But we'll try to go Guzma, Giratina, Ping, I would assume, to get 4 prizes in one turn. That would be a bit of a problem. I will go ahead and Viridian Forest away 1 Fire Flint for a Fire. And then I have used 1 Fire Crystal, so I have 1 left, so I just need to be careful with my fire counts. Okay. No Welder as of now. No Welder as of now, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and Ultra Wall these 2 for the other Salazzle. I'm looking for Welder basically. I mean, it can be over the course of 2 turns, but I do need the Welder. If not this turn, then next turn for sure. If I could Welder plus yeah, it's gotta be this, right? If I could Welder plus Acerola, that would be so broken. So I'm gonna go ahead and Lily for 2. Still no Welder. And we're just gonna go ahead and Outrage. So, I mean, our Reshiram took 3 prizes. Now we need my opponent to not have Giratina into Guzma into Pink plus KO, right? Which with Viridian and Jirachi, it is looking quite viable, honestly. 260, a pretty nice number for him to have dealt. Obviously, he would have preferred a knockout. He missed it by 1 Malamar. There's the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball will get him Giratina, so it comes down to, does my opponent have the Guzma? Ooh, does have the Field Blower in his hand. Not bad, right? Decides to get rid of his own stadium, surprisingly. Decides to get rid of his own stadium. We're gonna see the Ultra Ball. I'm not sure I agree with that stadium. We see my opponent is playing an Acerola himself. So this is definitely the most competitive match we've played today, I'd say. Well, the Pigaro match could have been more competitive, though I guess we had a big edge. If my opponent had found the energy, at least the game would have gone on. I don't understand the discard of the stadium, though. I mean, it reduces my chances of having enough cards to Welder. There's a Giratina, but see, like, you could have discarded the Giratina. Why would you? What? And he's using Psychic Recharge before playing Supporter. That's also a mistake, right? It's like, it doesn't matter that your plan is not going to change. It's better to have the habit of doing it the right way. Is Guzma your last card? If what? Wow. That is such a bad play by my opponent. He had the KO. He had the play. He actually had the play. And now he's gonna get so punished. Now he's gonna get so badly punished for this awful play, honestly. There's just no other way to describe it, right? It was a pretty bad play on my opponent's part. Choice banding here, yeah. We get the well played. Sorry, man, but that was a big misstep. Getting rid of your own stadium made absolutely no sense whatsoever. No 2 price target for me at the moment. But like if he let loses, then he has no attacker, and if he doesn't let loose, then just look at our hand, right? I really can't ask for more. Perhaps I should have held the skateboard though in case of second field blower. I'd be very surprised to see a Gengar Mimikyu getting an attack off here. The Giratina will place damage counters, can't place it on the active though, so the active seems like it's gonna have 10 more, 260 damage once again, and there's a concession. So okay, so if my opponent had pulled off he had the perfect cards to do it too. If he had pulled off that play, right, I believe maybe he had the Guzma from a previous Televish. If my opponent had pulled off that play, he would have been in such a good spot. I would have had the Welder, I would have had to GX a Giratina, right? We would have been tied at 2 prices, but then he would have had double Malabars, he would have had the Jirachi, and then he would have had 3 extra cards from the prizes. Maybe that would have been enough for him to push for the KO with another Ultra Chrysma. I have a huge hand, so maybe Gengar and Mimikyu could have gone for the KO. I don't know. I feel like my opponent had everything, and then the misstep. The misstep there was very, very costly for him. Like with that, if he had done that play, the game would have gone on and it would have been super close. Because of the misstep, then my opponent had 0 chance to win. But yeah, guys, that will be all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye bye.